Hey guys, my name is Devontae and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Thank God I finally found an alternative to Ringside News. Wrestle News. Now, granted, they've been around for a while, but I've never noticed that they had a trending portion on their app. I think they're like an actual article as far as a website is considered, but I never noticed a trending portion on their app. That helps out tremendously. Ringside News used to have that also, where they'll have like a trending portion on their app, and you can kind of tell what to make videos on because you can see what topics people are mostly discussing. They have this on Wrestle News, and this is actually trending, and I want to talk about this because here's my thing about Edge personally. I'm going to read some of the quotes that he was actually talking about, and I'll talk more about my own position about Edge. But Edge being brought into AEW, in my opinion, was a game changer for them. Edge being brought into AEW and doing what he's currently doing right now at the moment with Christian in regards to the position on the card and helping out shows like Collision is tremendous for AEW. So you would think, right? So you would think. That's just words. On paper, it sounds like it'd be exciting. And it's not to say that Edge and Christian, when they kicked off their feud to begin with, when Edge came into the company, there was an excitement. I want you guys to remember, Edge has barely been in the company for, what, a month? It's been a little over a month since Edge has came to AEW. And I don't know. It's been a month, and with everything that's going with him and Christian right now, and it's like, all the heat is starting to dissipate from what was going on with them, and I was super excited for them, and now it's like, it's like, I feel as if they're not using Edge to his fullest potential. Now, granted, Edge feels a little bit different. I'm going to read a couple of quotes from him, and you guys let me know. It's Adam Copeland. I always wanted to say that. Yeah, I gave a cheesy laugh. Now, let's read this though, seriously. Let's see. Adam Copeland, Edge, on his creative direction in AEW. I got some good stories that I can tell, and I quote from him. What I've noticed is the creative process and some of the freedom that comes along with that, and I think that's been really fun. Not that I haven't had creative freedom. I've been very lucky in that regard over the years. But it's different when there are not shareholders, and it's different when there is a different structure in that regard. Copeland also commented on his limited schedule in WWE, and I quote, I think from their perspective, and I see their perspective entirely, if we bring you out too much, then it's not special anymore. I get that. I really do. So it was for limited dates. With that though, you can't really get into a proper story. You can't really dive into what this thing could be. For me, looking at it, it's like I'm 49. I got a very, very limited time to capitalize on what I have left. Because 3 months off, that's 3 months where I could have done some stuff. And I know it sounds great on paper, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't a horrible place to be. But if I'm going to do this, I want to do it. I want to try to craft some stories and do what I can while I can. So limited time, yeah, because I'm far closer to the end of my career than I am to the beginning. But still think I got some good stories that I can tell and a whole new roster of people who I've never touched before. When I see people talk like that and they don't ever reference the thing that's currently going on in the company, like, it's one thing when you say something along the lines, what the hell was that? Along the lines of, oh yeah, creative is actually doing really good right now, but can you specify when you say that? It seems like whenever these wrestlers are trying to cope and they're trying to tell themselves that they're actually doing a good thing at the moment, that they can never specify their position. It's very broad, very generalized. If I was in Edge's position and if I was having fun, I would specify. I would say something along the lines of, yeah, man, what I'm doing with Christian right now is great. I love this angle that we're running right now. I can't wait to do more with AEW. Instead, it's just like, the creative process is good. Yeah, I get to do my own creative. I heard that from CM Punk, and it ended up not being that good of a thing. Now did it. I heard that from Cody Rhodes, and it ended up being a good thing. I did it. I've never heard Jade Cargill say that, but I wouldn't be surprised if she has something along the lines of that mentality, even though I guess it's not really easy for her to say because she's only worked for AEW. You have to work multiple places on how the creative direction works, right? But yeah, I have no problem with Edge being in AEW because, like he emphasized, there's there's a plethora of new talent for him to work with, and there's a plethora of new talent that I would like to see Edge work with that I haven't gotten an opportunity to see him with. The only problem is when you mess with AEW, the stars that they currently have, even within the characters that they're actually truly presenting at the moment, you would like to see more from them characters, so those characters can sooner or later link up with other characters because you see the promise in whatever feud or whatever match they can actually have. They don't really go out of their way to put those characters into a position to thrive. Again, it comes right back to the whole consistently focusing on wrestling jargon. I hate that because, again, when I talk about AEW and their wrestling and constantly focusing on it, it's not so much that I don't want them to have good matches. That's ridiculous. No one will actually, go out of their way to want to watch a wrestling company have bad matches. It's just to say that when you have so much of that without anybody being able to relate to the characters or relate to the actual match in itself, yeah, that's the problem. And I know some of you guys are probably being like, oh, Devontae, you're a broken record. You repeat this 1,000,000,001 times. Well, see, that's the problem, because I have a lot of new people who just subscribed to the channel recently, and I want them to understand this process. Also, I want them to understand my position when I look at certain things so they can understand where I'm coming from when it comes time when I start going off the cuff and getting all red hot ass like I did last night with AEW Dynamite. By the way, check out that video. Grow some hair on your balls. All I'm saying that I can see Edge's perspective, but it would be very, very nice if he can actually work with some characters along the way, along with Christian. You know what I mean? It's great to work a program with Christian, but what else can you do? I would like to see Edge, for an example, in his Brood kind of gimmick, work with an Aleister Black. I would like to see Edge one of these days go out of his way to, work with Adam Page. And people can be like, oh, it's only been a month, Devontae. Well, okay, it's been a month, but it's not to say that he can't, cut some promos with them. You got this Collision and Dynamite show. It ain't like CM Punk is around anymore to hold you back. You can have... and I know that they said it was like a soft split as far as the roster is considered, but I was kind of hoping they were going to go right back to, WWE's old formula back in the early 2000s, or the late 90s, I guess, where it was like SmackDown and Raw. Both were just a continuation of the whatever stories they were presenting at the moment, rather than doing somewhat of a soft split for real, and then you don't get to see this talent, and you don't get to see this talent, and you don't get to see this talent, even though you have both shows. Now, if you're going to do a hard brand split, then you could justify that. But if both guys can still, if all the rosters can still show up on both shows, then have a continuation. And I understand in the end of the day that, oh, well, we have too much people on the roster to be able to pull that off. Well, that's the problem. You have to release some talent. You got to reposition people, man, because I want to see more of Edge. I want to see what else Edge can do. I want to see who else Edge can work with. I'm happy that his main concern right now is Christian, but look what happened last night. You didn't even see Christian and Edge last night. And to be quite frank, I haven't seen them so much as far as really going headstrong into their feud in a couple of weeks now. They're actually starting to hurt Christian's momentum through no fault of his own, because Christian right now arguably is the hottest heel in professional wrestling. And currently right now, one can argue he's about to be usurped by someone like a Swerve Strickland, because Swerve Strickland's about to take his spot right now as far as the entertainment value is concerned. And it shouldn't be that way, man. You should be capitalizing on all that momentum with Christian. You should be capitalizing on all that momentum that Edge brought to your company. I talked about this earlier this morning with the Sasha Banks video, but I want to reiterate this one more time. My biggest problem with Tony Khan when it comes to some of these surprises, and it's going to probably be the exact same way if he does sign a Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, however you like to refer to her, or any future prospects for that matter. If you sign them, you have to put them to good usage. You have to put them to work. To just sign these people and them not actually doing anything, it just gives off a reflection that you just signed them in order to pop a number, and it's so frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. And it brings me to this point right here. I gotta ask, for as much as Edge is saying that he's 49 years old, that he wants to do more for wrestling, that he wants to be able to accomplish more while he still has a limited time left, is he really, I gotta ask, does he really feel like he's, I don't want to say thriving, but like he feels good about his current position? You know what I'm trying to say? Does Edge really, really like what he's currently doing at AEW at the moment? Yeah, granted, he gets to work with Christian, and that's really, really good. But I want to know, and obviously there's no answer to be told about this, but I want to know if there's like a like a little bit of an inkling feeling in Edge's mind as far as concern is considered. He hasn't really been promoted on the flagship show in regards to Dynamite. He's been on Collision for these past few weeks with failing numbers through no fault of his own, mind you. I know some people will probably say, oh, Edge's not that big of a star, that's why they're not drawing. Really? Because he was drawing pretty decent numbers with WWE, right? It's all based off of the machine. It's all based off of the propaganda machine proposed by WWE and the AEW as far as how to get their superstars over. AEW is not in a position currently right now where people give a shit about them. As a matter of fact, they lost viewers over the past couple of years, which is actually saying something considering when they first kicked off their show, they were in the same vein as Raw today. Just goes to show you, man, when you just go out of your way to promote the same type of ideology that pretty much gave reason for WWE, the flagship wrestling company in the world right now, to not want to promote that, you would think you would study that and know not what to do, but instead they double down on the thing that WWE try to push themselves or distance themselves away from, or not really distance themselves away from, but not make the focal point of their show. Now, granted, WWE can have some cringy stuff and some cringy characters and some cringy this, some cringe that. I understand. But at the very least, they're within the realm of actually doing what I want them to do in order to gain my attention personally. And to be quite frank, broadly speaking also, I think more people care about the Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn and Jay and Jimmy and all that stuff that was going on in late 2022 and early 2023, more so than any Roman Reigns match you could possibly throw at me nowadays. You can't tell me not one fucking match that Roman Reigns has had that's more memorable than any of those Bloodline segments back in mid-late 2002 to earlier this year. You just can't. And I feel as if with Edge, I would like to see more of that. I would like to see more of him and Christian. I would like to see what Edge can do, but when you consistently put him in a spot where he's not being utilized, then I have to question, well, out of curiosity, because I'm not feeling like I'm not getting my fix from Edge. I'm pretty sure some of you guys aren't feeling like you're getting your fix from Edge. So how does Edge actually feel? Because if I'm not feeling that way, you're not feeling that way, then how the hell does the actual person who's in that position feels currently, creatively speaking? Obviously, I'm not talking about money or monetary. Pretty sure Edge is like swimming in moolah right now. But I'm talking about creative fulfillment. How does Edge currently feel at the moment? Does he feels like being at 49 years old currently at the moment that he's being fulfilled? Actually, I don't even think he's 40. Is he 49? No, Edge is 50 right now. His birthday's in October, right? No, Edge is 50 right now. Actually, let me see. Let me look that up real quick. Is this an old? When did they probably did this a couple of weeks ago. Now that I think about it, because if Edge is saying that he's 49, no, Edge was born in 73, I believe, right? And his birthday's in October, I think. Let me see. Edge, WWE. Yeah, I'm not gonna use AEW. Yeah, he's 50. He turned 50 the day before Halloween. Okay, so there you go. Right? Half a century old is Edge, and it's like, you know, you only got so much time left, man. 25 years, man, is 75. And 25 years ago, you, the Hardys, and Christian were, you know, trending things. That just lets you know how fast time goes. 1 minute, 25 years ago, you're doing stuff with the Hardy Boys. The next minute, you're 50 years old. Sooner or later, you'll be 75 years old. I don't think you even have that much time left, obviously, considering that you're still 50 and you got about a good... I don't know, man. I just want to see what... We only have Edge for a limited amount of time, as he said. If you're going to do something with him, shit or get off the goddamn pod. He's contracted. I mean, don't treat Edge like you've treated all your other superstars. He already feels like he's one of the boys, when that shouldn't be the case, because Edge is a legend. He shouldn't be feeling like one of the boys. Quite frankly, Christian shouldn't be feeling like one of the boys, to be perfectly honest with you. Nor Jericho. None of those three guys should be feeling like they're one of the boys. Or Sting. Yet, look at what they're doing right now, currently at the moment. I don't know, man. That's just my opinions. Let me know how you feel about my thoughts, and what do you feel Edge should be doing currently at the moment right now? Do you feel that what Edge said in his post was nothing but copium? Do you feel that you would like to get more of your fix from Edge, and they kind of dropped the ball on Edge so far? It's not to say they've completely failed Edge. I'm not saying that right now. I'm not saying that Edge is lost, that Edge is buried, Edge is done for in AEW. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, like, okay, I've ate my dinner. I would like some dessert. I was really expecting some dessert, and that dessert is Edge. No homo. Like, can you Can you give me my dessert? Again, no homo. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that could just be the diehard Edge fan in me talking right now. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Deuces, P-Eyes.